Guess I'm live. Hey, what's up? This is George Shamoun. In this live presentation, I'm gonna go over, as the title states, we're gonna go over the getting starting with using Linux commands in the terminal of Linux operating system. So I'm gonna show you some of the commands I run on the terminal, and so and then those commands are from my course. I have a course online, Linux commands for beginners. I have the link in the description if you're interested to check it. And I'm gonna go over some of the first section, some of the lessons in the first section. And obviously, the first one will be about how to access the Linux command lines, and how to get the Linux terminal installed on your computer, and what resources are available, because you have to have it installed to have access to the command line interface, so you can try how to use the commands. That's how you start learning. You have to establish an access to your to the command line, and then you start using those commands. So I'm going to be looking at my course description page sometimes. So the first one is how to get Linux installed. How to get Linux installed. And there are so many ways. The first one, you can have a full-fledged Linux operating system running on your machine, on your computer. And you can have a virtual box running this way. It's a hypervisor using other operating system like Windows, and you can install the virtual box. And from the virtual box, you can run the command line, for Linux. And if your computer is running Linux like mine, it's very easy. You just have to access the command line, and then you start typing commands. And then I'm gonna go over some of the commands that you can use to get information about your system initially. And obviously, there are hundreds of commands in Linux you can use, and nobody can remember everything. This is why you have to learn the basics first, and you don't have to try to memorize everything. In the beginning, you start using them, you have to learn how to use them, like the syntax of the command and the flags and the options that you can use. And then the more you use them, the more you memorize them. It becomes a second nature that you memorize them, but don't try to memorize them. Just learn about the syntax first. First, you access the command line, you start using the commands, and you learn about the syntax, how to construct the command and the flags and the options, files, directories, and how the system, how Linux is constructed or is built, like the operating system. You should have an idea about the tree structure of the Linux operating system, like that it starts from the root directory and it's in directories, and you have like the bin directory, sbin, and each one has certain function, and these are common to most Linux distributions. So what I'm running, Linux Ubuntu 22.04, and the Ubuntu is one of the easier version if you're starting new with Linux. It's easier than other versions, and it's multi-purpose. You can use it for so many purposes. Um, And you have other Linux distribution that you can use if you're learning how to the ethical hacking and the penetration testing. Uh, there are specific distributions you can use, but for most distributions, for the generals, you can use Ubuntu, and that's what I like. It's user friendly. It's got a nice graphical user interface, and there are so many nice options about using Linux. I use it at home, and I've been using it on and off with Windows, but recently I'm using Linux only because Windows, you have to keep upgrading the operating system. You have to keep paying money, So I figured, maybe I'll try to at home use Linux only. And I've been using it for the last decade, a couple decades, like over 20 years, and I became very familiar with the basics of it, because Linux is very extensive topic and it can get very complicated, and there are so many topics you can delve deep in Linux. You can be a system administrator, you can be a systems programmer. That's more difficult, and there are so many. Myself, I am a regular user, but I know the basics of the commands, so I know my way around in Linux basic, and I know some of the basic how to make a basic script. So uh, so again, if you have any question about Linux and how to get started with Linux, submit it in a comment box. Or if you want to know how to install it or to access it, and what kind of computer do you have and how to install it, let me know, because there are so many ways that you can access the Linux terminal, and you can install it on your computers. If you have a Mac, the Mac, it's built in. You have access to the Linux commands. It's built in. The and the Windows nowadays, if you have Windows 10 or the more advanced Windows, the later versions, there is a way to install Linux on Windows. Recently, they added an application in the Windows Store, Windows application store, that you can install Linux, and you can use it even if you have the a Windows operating system. But myself, I have Linux operating system installed on my computer. That's what I'm using. And in a few minutes, I'm gonna start running some of the commands. Depends on your questions, So if you are interested in these topics, this video will be about the topic of learning how to use Linux commands. So if you have any questions, submit it in a comment. And if you like this kind of content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because I want to grow it, and I need your help. And in return, I'll make more videos like these, live and long form and shorts, to help you and to answer your questions if you have any specific questions. Again, I want to thank you, whether you're on this live stream, whether you're going to be joining later on, or you are on a future replay. Thank you so much for your time. And again, submit your question about Linux if you're interested in learning how to use it and how to get started, even if you started to use it for a while, how to refresh your memory with Linux. And by the way, I have a course online. If you're interested, check it out. Check out the description page of the course. I added the link in the comment box below. And submit any questions, and let me know what topics you're interested to learn about, and if you use Linux, for what type of reasons you use it, what kind of jobs. So let me know. So yeah, so I'll wait for a few minutes. Maybe more people will show up, and then I'll start running some of the commands. It depends what you want me to run. You let me know. So let me show you. This is this is the Linux commands. I have it now. So I have it right here. So this is how the command looks like. Let me flip the screen. So this is how the command looks like. This is the terminal window, and you still have access to the GUI, and it's it's running on the top, you know. Actually, the GUI is running on the top of the, you know. So this is the command line, and you start typing commands here. Let's say if I want to clear the screen, I hit the clear. Okay, I hit the clear here. Clear. And if I hit enter, it's gonna clear the screen. So I hit enter, and it clears the screen, if you notice. This is a command you use. Let's say you want to know what is today's date and the time. You just type date. That's the command date. D-A-T-Y, enter, and then the system will generate the date. It says Sunday, the 15th September 2024, 7:26. It gives you down to the 2nd p.m. CDT, Central Standard Time, where I am now. So, let's say you want to see who's logged in the system, what user are using the system now. So what you do is you type who, so it will give you who's logged in, and you can use who am I, that's another command, who am I, okay, and you hit enter, and it will give you the username, the same username, and let's say, again, we can clear the screen. I like to keep clearing the screen. I don't like to see other, you know, other information on it. So I can make it bigger if I want. So if you notice, it's bigger, as big as the screen now. But let's make it smaller so you can see the command. And let's say I want to type ls command. Ls, it will list what's the content of the directory. So ls, enter. This is ls, enter, and it will give you the content of the directory. It will list the files and the directories. So also those commands, they have flags. Flags, it means like modifiers, let's say, and you put dash here. So ls dash L, let's say, it will give you more information, more details about what I showed you before, you know, in the previous command. So ls, it will generate this this output, and it will give you two colors, like the directories desktop is blue. It means it has files in it. It's a directory. And the other color, which is white, this one, it's a file. It's not a directory. It has different color. So, and now it's the same command, but I'm using the flag L, which is a modifier. It will give it a different option. And if you hit enter, if I hit enter, it's gonna give you the list of the, it's the same list like you saw before, but it's got different formats. So you see the desktop here, documents, downloads, example. It's the same, but in addition, it gives you more details about the folders and the files. First, it says total 60, and it's referring to the files, the total files. And so if you look at this one, whenever you see a D in the beginning, in a start, this one here, this is the directory. It says if it's a dash, it's a file. So if you notice, all of those are directories, and that's why they have different color, blue. And this is the file here. It's got dash in the beginning, and then it has example desktop here. So this is what you're looking at here now, the DR, WXR. The first one, it shows whether it's a directory or file. And then the second, there are another 8 characters, RWX, R-X, R-X. Those are the the file, what do you call it? Like the access, you know, the mode and the access, the permissions, they call them permissions. So basically, when you look at R, it designates the read permission, and the W is the write, and the X the execution. So basically, RWX in this case, it's R read, write, and execute. And then the R-X, whenever you see dash, it means you don't have access for writing in this case. And each three permissions designate whether you have the read option, the read permission, the write permission, and the execution permission. And the first three permissions are for the owner. If you are the owner, and this is the owner of the file, this is my username here, George KC, George K. Shamoun. This is my username here, and I created the file, so I am the owner. And this is the permission RWX, and if you are in my group, the permission will be R-X. That's the default. It means you can read the file and you can execute it, but you cannot write anything on a file. And then the same thing, RWX is others. So basically you have three permissions here. You have the owner permission, the first three. The second three are the group permission, because you can create groups in Linux and you can give them the same permission. And then you have others. Others, it means it's not the owner and it's not the same group. It's others, anybody else. They have R-X. It means read -X execute. So, and then you have the size of the file. Let's say the first one, the directory, the size is 4096. And when it was created, this one was created September 11. And it's at what time and what's the, this is how you look at, this is one of the commands that you can use to run Linux. If you have any question about this command that I just ran now, it's the ls command. Let me know and I will explain it more. If you have any specific question about the ls command, basically ls command, it will list the files and the directory from the command line in Linux, and it will give you basically the current directory and the current content, files and directories. So and you can also navigate to the each individual directory, and you can find the content doing the same thing list. So if you have any questions, let me know, and thank you for joining. Thank you for joining the live stream. If you have any questions, let me know and submit your questions so I can answer you on this live stream. Again, we're talking about Linux commands and how to set up the terminal on your computer, and then how to access the commands, how to use the commands. So, we use the ls command. So, let's see. Okay, and let's use the pwd command. The pwd command, it will give you the present working directory. This way you know what directory you're at. So basically, let's say, let me show you. Let me flip the screen to show you the command. So let's clear again. So clear, let's clear. So this is, I cleared the screen. Now, let's use the command, the pwd. Pwd will show you the where, in what directory, or the current directory. So pwd, it's abbreviation for present or present working directory. This is the command, pwd. And if I hit enter, excuse me, and it's gonna show you the current directory, and this is the current directory. It's the home, George KC Shamoun. That's my my username. So basically, this is the default. Whenever you log in, you know, the first login, it's gonna give you the default, your home directory. That's the default, the home directory. And so if you wanna navigate to a specific directory, you can use the cd command. This is the cd command here. Cd, it means change directory. So let's say you want to change directory to home. Let's see, home. Okay, so if you do cd slash, which is the directory home, it will change the from the home directory to the home to the from the home and user directory to the home directory. And again, we can do an ls to see what's in this directory. ls, not la, ls, enter, and it will give you on this computer I have, there is two usernames. This is if you go up one level, it's gonna show you all the usernames here. So this is GeoCacham. This is the root one, the admin, right? This is my initial when I my username when I installed this Linux box, and this is the admin. And then I created another username, which is George K. Shamoun, and this is another one, which is a standard user. It doesn't have the permission like the admin, and it's recommended not to access all the time using the your admin, right? Unless you're making changes to the system and you have to. So let me flip the screen and see if there's anybody have a question. Anybody have a question about this? The one I created, the commands I use now. So I used the ls commands. I used the pwd to find out what's my directory. And then I use the cd, which is the change directory. You can change from one directory to another, and you specify the directory. And again, you can use the list again, and it will show you the directories and the usernames. Actually, the directories for that specific user. In this case, I have the admin, and the other one is the standard. So basically, whenever you install Linux, you have to have an admin, right? It's gonna prompt you to create a password for your administrative, right? You know, you are the admin. And in addition to the admin, it's a great idea to add another user, standard user that doesn't have the administrative rights. This way, you don't do any damage or do any changes to the system by mistake. So this is why I do not use my administrative login. I use my standard login. And there are ways to log in as a standard user in Linux, and then you can switch to the admin user in case you want to run an administrative right using your administrative login. And then you can change back, you know, to the standard user. So so this is how you start getting used to the Linux terminal. You have access to the terminal, and you can start adding commands. And this is how it looks like. This is the command line interface, and this is the terminal. And you still have access to the graphical user interface in Linux, and plus you can run the commands, you know, from the terminal. So if you have any questions, let me know, and submit them in a comment box so I can answer you right now on this live stream. So questions, comments, question about Linux commands and how to use it, or how to get started with using Linux. If you are on this live stream, I want to thank you so much for joining. Let me know where you're tuning in from, and if you're interested in specific commands you want me to run while I am at the command. Now I have, I'm running Linux operating system 22.04 Ubuntu, and I have the terminal terminal window now up and running. I can run any commands you want me to, as long as I'm familiar with it, because you have hundreds of commands when you use Linux operating system. Again, this is how it looks like. This is Ubuntu. You got the graphical user interface. You got so many applications, and then you have the terminal. And how you run it, you just go here and right click, and you click on a new window, and then it's gonna give you access to another. You can run so many terminal sessions. You don't have to run only one. You got another one here. So if you have any question, let me know, guys, about running Linux and what commands you want me to run. So and this is the taskbar here. And if you go down, if you see those dots here, it says show application. You just click on it and it will show you the applications here. If you click on it, so this is the window and it's showing you all the applications now. So it's amazing how much applications you have in Linux. They came a long way. So many apps, and they're all for free, So it's right here. So those apps, there are more, I can use those. There are so many applications. And what's nice about Ubuntu, you got this app here, this box here. It says the Ubuntu software. You can do updating from the Ubuntu software, and it's like a central depository for the software. If you click on Ubuntu, and it's gonna come up now. And if you see this here, this is the Ubuntu applications, the Ubuntu software center. And if you look at it, it says on the top, explore. If you want to look for certain specific programs, you can look here. And if you want to check what's installed on your system, you click on installed, and it will show you a list of what you have installed on your system. And you can uninstall them if you want. You have access to uninstall, and it's so easy with the graphical user interface to uninstall the softwares and programs and Linux. And then you look on the top, it says update. You can click on update, and it's gonna say here, up to date, last checked 12 hours ago. So basically, the system, it's automated. You can set it up to be automated to check for updates. And if there is no updates, it's gonna say last checked, and then it says up to date. It means, and if there was any update available for any software, it's gonna show you a statement here, and then you go to update, and click on update. Again, let's get out of the Ubuntu box. So X, and we're back to the terminal, and if you click on activities here, if you see the activities here on the top, you click on it, and it will show you what software you are using, what programs are active, because you're not going to be able to see all the time the programs. So you click on it, and it's going to show you the what's running on the screen. So so this is the okay. So yeah, yep. Okay, it generated so many I guess it pulled from the history too. All right, so okay, so let me switch my screen, flip the screen. Anybody have a question about Linux commands? Any specific commands you want me to run in the terminal? Are you interested in learning Linux? So Augustine, Sandy, Idaho, hello, welcome. Do you have any question? Are you running Linux? Are you interested in running Linux? Let me know if you're interested in running a specific commands you want me to run. I can run it now. I have the system up. I have the terminal up and running. So Welcome, guys. Thank you for joining this live stream. I know there's not too many, just a couple, and people are tuning in and out. I still appreciate it. Just let me know if you have any questions about running Linux commands so I can help you. I can run it. It's right here. Let me show you. I have the Linux terminal up and running, so I can just type any commands you want me to try. And also, if you're interested in learning the basics of Linux commands, I have a course online. I have the link in a box, in a comment box. You can check it out if you're interested in learning, because I made a simple course. It's very organized, the way I learned Linux myself. So it's not that complicated, but it covers so many areas of the commands. So and if you have any questions, let me know. And make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're interested in this kind of topics. So I make videos about web page coding using HTML, CSS, and I started recently with JavaScript. And I make simple websites using website builder. So I use different kind of software. And now I've been using Linux for a couple decades now. I'm not gonna say I'm an expert. I'm very familiar with it and with the. So okay, we have a question here. I want to learn more about commands find and grep. Okay, that's a good question. So grep is to filter your output. So I can show you an example now. So let's say you are looking for a specific string or file or a directory in Linux, and you hit ls dash something, and the system lists so many pages, and you know what you're looking for. So you can use the grep to filter the output, and I can show you now. And the other command is find. Find, obviously, to find a specific file or directory you're looking for in Linux. Also, find by itself, it might generate a huge output, so many screens. You can use grep to filter the output, or more. If you use more after the pipe, it will give you like it starts paging the output like one page at a time. So let me show you how to use the grep command. So in 1 minute, once I run it, I will flip the screen and I will show you. So ls. Okay, so okay, let me flip my screen while you're looking. And can you see my screen, Augustin, Sandy? Can you see the screen, Augustin? Can you see my screen? Okay, so now what I did, I used ls. I am at this directory. That's my current directory now. So what I did, I used ls-l to generate the output of the directories, the current directory, what I have. So I had those. Let's say you have more than those. Now it's easy, you can see them. But sometimes you have hundreds of output, hundreds of records. So let's say I wanna look for the videos. And so what you do is ls, because let me show you first ls what it does. So ls, it did this, okay? So it generated this output, but you're looking for video. You don't want all of this. So what you do in this case, you do ls-l, and then you use the pipe command, not the command, the pipe, and then you use grep, okay? You use grep. And the grep, you're telling the system, look for a specific field or text. So in this case, we can look for the videos. So what you do, you type videos, videos. You don't even have to type videos. You can type vi only. It will look for it. And you hit enter, and now it should generate just this line. It's not going to give you the whole line here. So if you hit enter, and if you notice, it generated this line only as the output, and it highlighted the video in a different color, if you see it. So this is how you use the grep. And there are so many options. This is what's nice about Linux. There are so many options and so many flags, so many ways you look for certain output. Now I use the text, the name of the directory, but you can use other criteria, other filtering criteria. And now let me show you how to use the find command. So I'm gonna clear the screen. Do you have any question about the grep? Do you need any more clarification, or it's clear for you now? You're okay with it? Before I jump to the find one. Yes, okay. Okay, let's look. Okay, it's a good way to develop a habit where you clear the screen every time you do something else. Like now, you see my screen. It's not too cluttered. Let me show you. It's not too cluttered, but it's got some output. So what I do, I always use a clear, and hit enter, and it will clear the whole screen. It takes you to the top. You can start from a clean slate. So we can look for we can use the find command now. Okay, so let's see. We're looking for first. Let me find a file, and then we'll look for it. So let's go to download. Okay, I moved to the no, thank you. Oh, did you say you didn't get the you didn't understand the grep? You still have any question about the grep? Before I move to the find one. No, thank you. Oh, you mean like no, thank you. You're okay with it, I guess. That's what you meant. You're okay with the grep. Okay. Okay. So if you look in my download directory, this is what I have. I have so many files. So I changed. I accessed my download directory, and I did a list and a detailed list. And if you notice, I have so many files and directories in my download directory. So now we can look for a specific file. So let's say we are looking. Okay, so the way you use command find. The way you use command find is to look for certain thing. Even though the LSL will give you a listing, the find you'll be more specific. Okay, let's say we're looking for. Let me see. Okay, let's say we're looking for a file like .png. So the way you do it, clear. Okay, I'm gonna type find. I'm gonna look for the PNG file. So what I do is find, and we can use. I have to current directory, which is, I'm trying to remember how to use to type the current directory. I think it's a tilde. Let's try the tilde. This one here. And then you add name. That's an example. We're looking for name. And then we can use the star for wildcard .png. This may not work 100%, but we can fix it, because sometimes it's you have to construct the command. Let's see if I can find. Okay, current trend, date, path must precede expression. Okay, they're looking for a path, which is, let me see this one. Download, possible unquoted, must precede expression. Okay, the path. Okay. Name. Okay, so I didn't need, I had extra stuff, you know. Okay, if you noticed, it's scrolling through a lot of output, and I'll tell you in a minute why it's doing this. Okay, let me stop it. Control. Okay, so what I did here, this is the command here, find. So basically what you do, you type find, then you cannot type the path. In this case, I use the path, the root directory. This is the top level directory, you know, the root. And then I gave it the name, what I'm looking for. I'm looking for any specific file with the PNG extension. So this is an example how to use the find command. But before it gave me error, I typed the wrong path, you know, so find this, yes. But let me just see something here. Let me just see what's the current directory. Okay, okay. I guess it was looking for the whole directory. Let me try it again. Find. Find. Copy. Paste. Let's try this. Okay. Okay. So this is an example of the find, and this is the output, and let me show you. Okay, this is the command we ran. Let me clear it 1 second. Okay, so this is the command, find, and then you use, this is the syntax. You know, before, it didn't work in the beginning because you have to be exact. You cannot make a mistake with the syntax, you know, the way you construct the command. But this one worked, and this is the way it should be. So you type find, and then you type next to find the path where you want to look for. So basically, I want to look in a download directory, and then you space, you use the space, and then you add the name of the file. In this case, we're looking for a PNG file, and then we don't know the whole name, so we used asterisk for the wildcard. So this is an example of using the find command, you know, but you have to be specific about the path. You cannot make a mistake. That's why it errored out before, but now it worked, you know. So basically, even though I was at the current download directory, it requested the whole path from the root directory. This is why it worked now. So does that make sense? How to use the find? Anybody else have a question about running commands in Linux, in the Linux terminal? Anybody else? Any other commands? And you know, there are so many commands. You got hundreds of commands, and What's nice, the way you put commands together, there are so many ways, you know, there's not one specific way. And you can use flags and options and, you know, so, and you can always do a search. If you make a mistake typing a command, you can do a search, and you can use the man command to find the information about specific topics in Linux. So let's say, uh, just an example. Now we just use the grep and the find. Let's say you want to learn about the find command, how to use it, and you have no idea. So what you can do, you can type man space the command name, like man space find, and the system, it will generate an output on how to use, like, instructions, how to use the find command with the syntax, with the options, with the flags. So I can give you an example now. So if you look at the screen and you type man, M-A-N, M-A-N, let me get closer, the man, space, find, because let's say you don't know how to use the find command and you want to learn about it. What you do, you type man, find, and you hit enter. And once you hit enter, the system will generate, you know, from the manual pages, instructions how to use it. It's very helpful. Even if somebody doesn't know how to use Linux commands, you can use the man command. It says here general commands manual. It's the manual for the commands. So basically, the find, if you look here, first it gives you the find, the name of the command, which is this one. Then it will give you, again, the name, find, search. It tells you what it does. So this find command, search for files in a directory hierarchy. And then it shows you the synopsis. It means the syntax, how to type it, you know. It's a find, then you have the dash HLP, and each one does something, and then it says the starting point, then the expression. So, and then it will explain to you here the description, and it will give you the option what it means, you know. Let's say the H, the dash H, which is the option here. It has, you know, they explained it what it means, and then they tell you how to start looking for the files, you know. So it says double dash can also be used to signal that any remaining argument, ensuring you can use dot forward slash slash is generally safer if you wildcard in the first start point. So and you keep going down, and it's gonna give you all the explanation about it's so you have so much details about those commands here. And if you look, tests, and then it'll give you a newer, a time, whatever. Those are all options you can use in Linux. Commands, you're not going to use all of them, but it gives you a lot of details that you know, it explains how to use the command in case. And then if you want to get out of the manual pages, you just hit the quit. Once you hit the quit, you're back to the command line interface where you can type commands again. So this is how to use the manual pages. In case you need any help, you're typing a command and it errors out, you don't know how to use it, and you're not sure about the syntax, you can use the manual pages. You just type man space and type the name of the command from the terminal, and it will generate a description and output instructions how to use the commands. Guys, if you have any question about Linux commands and how to use the commands, I have the Linux terminal now, the command line interface up and running. I can type any commands you want me to, and if there's any commands you like me to explain, if I know it, and I explain it. If I don't know it, I look for it and I'll find out, you know. And make sure you subscribe to the channels because I want to grow it, and I need your help. Every subscriber counts, and the more subscribers I have, the more videos I make, and I will help you with the questions like these, you know. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification button to be notified with the future updates and the future videos. So on this channel, I make video tutorials about coding, web page coding, making simple websites using Linux commands like this one. And recently I started with the JavaScript, and I'm dabbling a little bit with the Python, but I'm not getting into it heavily now. I'm focusing on HTML5, CSS3, JavaScript, making simple websites using Linux, teaching you about Linux and how to use the commands. And so anybody, if you guys interested in learning about Linux, I have a course online. I have the link in the description. I have the link in the comment box, in a chat box. It's right here. And this will take you to the course page. It will take you here. And then let me show you. It's gonna take you to a page like this, and then you click on the visit the course description page, and it's gonna take you to this page here. This is the it says Linux commands for beginners, a simple to follow, easy to understand, organized course to get started with Linux command. And this is me here. I made this course, George Karam Shamoun. And if you go down, there's a description all the way. You can read about the course, and at the end, it's got the curriculum. It's all video online, self-paced. This is the curriculum, and you have section 1, section 2, 3, 12 section, and each one, if you expand it, you have the chapters, and what chapter you're gonna be learning, what commands, so if you go to section 2, you have lesson 3, 4, 5, and then you have the commands here, so yeah, check it out if you're interested in learning about how to use Linux commands. And if you're looking for a course online, this is one. And so anybody else have a questions, comments about using Linux? Let me know. Back to the and maybe I should add it in the description here. Yeah. Anybody else have a question about using the Linux commands? This is the Linux terminal. I have it up and running now. If you have any question, let me know. Anybody else, any questions? Thank you, Chris, for subscribing. I got a notification now. Thank you so much, guys. I do appreciate you if you subscribe, because I need to grow my channel, and every subscriber counts. Every person counts. So make sure. Anybody else have a question? Questions about Linux commands? Topics? Let me know if you are interested in topics like these, so I can make more. So anybody else have a question? Let's see. Do you guys have any question about Linux commands, what you want me to run? Or if you're using it at home or at work and you have any questions, let me know. I can help you now. Obviously, with the knowledge I possess, I don't know everything, because you have hundreds of commands that you can use on Linux, but I can show you where to go, what resources, where to find help. So Anybody else? Questions, comments, topics about future videos that I can make to help you? Uh, do you have Linux installed? Are you using Linux in a different setting from a Linux computer? Like what I'm doing now, I have Linux operating system installed, but you don't even have to have Linux operating system installed on your computer. You can have Windows machine, and you can install the virtual box on the top of the hypervisor. And even now, the advanced operating system like Windows 10 and beyond, they have an app that you can install. It lets you use Linux. You can install Linux on Windows nowadays, because even Azure, the Microsoft Cloud services, they use Linux too, So from what I hear, and even the operating system. So basically, nobody can get on the internet and use the network without touching any Linux servers. You always have Linux servers involved, in any network. This is why it's very important to learn Linux commands if you are into the technology field, if you are in the IT field. And if you're not in the technology field or the IT field, it's a great skill to have, running Linux. Just like you're seeing now, you can find a lot of information. You can do a network diagnostic with Linux commands. Like you can do a ping a website to see if it's on the internet, if you can access it. You can do NS lookup to find the DNS servers. You can do trace route to find if there's how far is your packet, going. We can do a lot of network diagnostic when it comes to Linux commands. So if you're interested to know about the networking command in Linux, you can do information about your IP address. You can do information, you can retrieve information about your IPv4, IPv6 internet connection. You got so many information you can retrieve and you can access using the Linux commands. Let me know if you have any questions using the Linux command, and I want to thank you so much for joining this live stream, whether you're on this live stream now or you're joining later, or you will be on a future replay after this live stream is completed. I want to thank you so much. I do appreciate your time and your attention. And make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future updates like these. And the more we have subscribers, the more I make videos and the more I help you. And on this channel, I cover different topics related to software and software as a service. And now we're focusing on JavaScript, a little bit Python. I started recently with Python, HTML, CSS, and making simple web pages and setting up websites. And also I talk about Linux commands because I've been using Linux for a long time, for the last, in the early 90s. So I'm very familiar with it. This is why I made a course. If you're interested in, let me know. So anybody else have a question? Questions about Linux commands, how to get started, how to learn Linux, how to be comfortable with it using the command line, what system you want to use, what resources are available for you to use Linux commands, how to access the command line interface, what you can do with it. There are so many ways. Guys, if you're tuning in, I see people tuning in and out. Say hi in a comment and let me know you can hear me well. And if you have any question or, let me know so I know that you can hear the presentation. And if you have any question, you can submit it, because I want to make sure you can hear my voice and my questions in case you have any questions you need help with. I can help you now on this live stream. You don't have even to wait, you know. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. And anybody else have a question, questions, comments? Yeah, I don't see anybody submitting questions in the comment box, but feel free to submit your question if you're interested in. And also, yesterday I did a live stream. We talked a bit about Python and how to use Python in Linux. So if you're interested, I can squeeze in some information now, or some helpful tips and answers about Python, how to run it, because it's within Linux too, because we're using Linux now. So anybody have a questions, topics, let me know if you're interested in any. Thank you so much for joining. And guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Only if you're interested in this kind of topics. I do appreciate it, because I need every single subscriber to grow my channel, and that will help me a lot. And in return, I'll keep making those videos, because I become motivated the more I have subscribers. Even one subscribers per day, it will be great. And I want to help you. I want to help you with the different topics. And if you look through my channel, you can see what topics I talk about, you know. So we talk about web page coding, about making simple websites, building, using web hosting, domain names. You know, I cover a lot of topics on this channel. It's all related about certain software and software as a service. Obviously, I cannot cover everything, but you know, I can tell you what I'm comfortable with. I'm comfortable with using HTML5, CSS3, and using a website builder, the no-code one, the drag and drop, and web hosting, domain name, how to use them, and how to use the Linux commands, and what else? How to use Inkscape. It's a vector graphic, how to create graphics using Inkscape. And I use GIMP a little bit for PNG files. And so who else? Any questions, any comments? Guys, let me know where you're tuning in from. Are you tuning in from the US? If so, what state are you tuning in from? If you're from overseas, what country are you tuning in from? I'm very interested to know, to see what's my reach. You know, I want to know how far I am reaching on the internet, you know. So can I get a sip of water? So let me know if you have any questions. So are you guys interested in learning how to use Linux commands? Do you use it at home, at work? Do you have access to the terminal? Let me know. Wow. I didn't know I'm that thirsty. I've been talking for 1 hour almost, so, or more. So let me know, guys, if you're interested in more topics. So what you want to learn about? What kind of commands? You know, we're talking about Linux now, so let's keep it confined to Linux commands, you know. Okay, Liz, I don't use Linux, but I appreciate what you are doing. Oh, thank you. I do appreciate that, Liz. Liz, where are you tuning in from? Are you in the US or overseas? Let me know where you're tuning in from. I'm just interested to know. Let me put this here in my fridge. And then, where do you, USA, what state? I'm coming to you live from the U.S. state of South Dakota. This is in the Midwest. I'm not sure what state are you. Are you from the East Coast, the West Coast, South, North? I mean, North. I am in the North now. Okay. Let's make sure. Are you one of my subscribers? Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I need your help in growing my channel, and everybody's help. And every subscriber means a lot to me. Now somebody subscribed. Was it you, Liz? Somebody just subscribed now because I can tell. Um, yeah, thank you guys. Thank you so much for joining. I do appreciate your attention and your time because I know time is very valuable for everyone, and you are allowing me to explain, and you're tuning in. Thank you so much. I subscribe. Thank you so much, Liz. I do appreciate that. Thank you for joining, and thank you for subscribing. What topics are you interested in? Are you interested in? I know you don't use Linux. You're saying so. What other topics are you interested in? Yesterday we had a topic about Python, how to access. Linux to use Python, and I talk about other topics on my channel. Usually they're software and software as a service. So yeah, yeah. If so, who else? Anybody have a question about using Linux commands? So guys, Linux is an operating system, just like when you say Windows operating system, when you say Mac operating system, Linux is an operating system. It's been around for long, and it started with being on a server only. Then it was extended to be used on desktop, and the kernel, it's used on Android phones now. It's some kind of Linux too. And it's very prevalent now in it's used a lot in a server environment, in web hosting, networking. You don't get on the internet unless you touch a Linux server. And now it's used, it's available for desktops, and the one I'm using is Ubuntu 22.04. It's very user friendly. If you are starting new with Linux, it will help you. And also, if you have a computer and you want to convert from Windows or Mac, or you can use like, let's say you have an old computer and you don't want to throw it away. You can run Linux on it. It may not be able to run Windows because you have to have a lot of memory, a lot of advanced architecture. But Linux, you can run it on even old computers. I have an old computer desktop here. This desktop, it's very old. It's running Linux, and it runs it fine, because it can work on old machines. You don't have to have a new machine. This is what's nice about Linux. And it's not a resource hog. It doesn't consume a lot of resources like other systems, So, and it's got it's for free, and it's got a lot of free software, you can use, I mean, I've been using Linux for the last maybe 1 year. I mean, I've been using it on and off for the last 2 decades, for 20 years. And recently, I had like Windows installed and Linux, but I had Windows 8, but Windows 8, it started requiring updates, and they needed me to upgrade to another operating system, and you have to pay about $100 or $150 to get the operating system, and this is like every couple years. And then you have to install security software, antivirus, etc. With Linux, you don't need that because it's not easy to infect a Linux machine. I mean, there is no system 100% proof, but it's much difficult. It's more difficult to get into Linux machines, to infect them. So there's more security. That's what it is. And the plus, if you're getting into programming, Linux has a lot of tools embedded with it in the operating system. It comes with it. If you are a Python programmer, it's embedded in a command line. You can access it easily, so etc. So. And nowadays there are so many softwares you can use on Windows. Mac and Linux too, you know, on the three machines, on the three types. So anybody else have a question, comments, topics? How can I help you? I want to help, you know, if you have any question, I will help you now about Linux or about technical topics about software and software as a service. If I know it, if I don't know, I'm gonna tell you I don't know it. So thank you guys. Thank you so much for joining this live stream. I do appreciate it, and I know people are tuning in and out, but I do appreciate it. Even if you attend for 1 minute, I'm very appreciative of that. You know, you're giving me your time. So anybody else? If you are on a future if you will be on a future replay, you can still submit your questions, and I get notification, and I can answer you too, you know, even if you're not ready for a question now. But if you are ready now and you have a question, you can submit it right away, and I can read it right now because this is live, and I'll do my best to help you and explain your question. You know, if I know the topic, if I don't know it, but you know, hopefully your question will be related to Linux and the basics of using the command line, you know, and the terminal window. We're not here talking about very advanced topic because any topics you get into, whether technical or otherwise, if you want to delve deep, it can get very complicated. And same applies for Linux. It can get very complicated. You know, if you're getting into the operating system programming, I don't get into this. You know, that's too difficult for me. And I don't know. It's you have to get into the C language and C++ assembly language. You know, you're getting closer to the machine level, and I don't do that. I like the software level where you are above the hardware, maybe two levels up. So anybody else questions, comments, questions about Linux commands, how to use it, how to access the command line? Let me know what kind of computer you have. Do you have Linux installed? Do you want to install it? Let me know. I can help you right now on this live stream. So I don't know how I. Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah. I thought somebody trying to ask questions. So, what else, guys? What other questions do you have? We're talking about Linux commands, and we can talk about other softwares. What you can use on Linux. What, if you want me, I can show you the GUI, the graphical user interface, so you know that Linux is not that scary like some people think. The command line is difficult, I don't want to use it. But if you install Linux on your computer, let me show you. It's got a graphical user interface. Let me flip the screen 1 second. And if you look at it, you see those are applications you can use. Anybody can use. You don't have to be. You don't have to use the command line. You have the browser, the internet browser. You have. I installed the Blender one time for animation and for video editing. I have VocoScreen. VocoScreen is devoted for Linux, and it's for screen recording. And you have OpenShot for video editing. This is a shortcut for video editing. This is Visual Studio Code for programming. I use it. And this is OBS for live streaming. I'm not using it now. It takes a lot of resources, you know, and sometimes it's crashing. I have to figure out a way how to use it, you know, but I like it. You have the text editor here. And if you click on the show application here on this grid, you click on it and it's gonna show you the applications available. If you look at it here, all of those apps, and a lot of them are for production, for you know, text editing, for word processing, you know, and then you can do a search here if you want for software you're looking for. You can do a search here too. So basically, this is a repository for Linux, you know. So and some software they work on Windows and Linux too, because I've been using Trello recently. I mean, a couple years ago I downloaded Trello on my mobile phone, and I found out I can use it on Linux. I can use also Teams for Linux. If you this is a proof that even Microsoft products are tailored for Linux. If you look at this one here, it says Teams for Linux. So Teams is Microsoft chat application. It's they made it for Linux, available for Linux too. And this is the software updater here. If you click on a software updater, it will take you to a screen that it shows you. You see, it says here, software updater. Checking for updates, it says, and it says downloading from the archive, and failed to download the repository information. Check the internet connection. I don't know, there's a connection, but this software updater, basically, what it does automatic update. Once you hit the update, it goes out through the internet to the repository or the archive for Linux, you know, Ubuntu, the Ubuntu inventory, not the inventory, the repository, and it will detect and compare what software I have on my computer that's not updated or old, and it will update it. And it does that on so many software. So this is one of the excellent options that Linux has. You can update the whole system in one shot, you know, just using the software updater. So any questions? Anybody else? Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you subscribe, thank you. I do appreciate it. And if you have not subscribed yet, please do, because I need your help in growing the channel. And in return, I keep making those videos, and I will help you more, answer questions you have if I have the knowledge. And obviously, I will let you know what kind of knowledge I possess, or what kind of skills, and what I'm gonna be covering in specific, you know, videos, whether live or. It looks like I'm finding those live videos much easier than making the long form, because I'm not good when it comes to editing. I'm not a good video editor. I'm waiting until I grow my channel more, and then I start outsourcing my video editing. But as of now, I'm not gonna do outsourcing, because I'm not ready for that yet, you know. And since I am a bad video editor, I'm not good when it comes to graphics and you know, imaging and graphic design. I'm enjoying those live streams. They don't need a lot of, I mean, I prepare for the topics and I want to decide what I want to talk about, but I don't have to worry about the graphics or thumbnails, or I just take my own picture like this, like you saw on a thumbnail, and add the title, what I'm going to be talking about. That's why I'm enjoying those, and I find them easier. But before, I used to be very nervous and scared when I started about a year ago, I think, on and off, I started with a live stream, and it was so difficult for me every time I get on this camera. I get very nervous and sweating and shaking. It was very difficult in the beginning. It took me long. I made so many videos on my channel. I have about 200 videos now on my channel. Most of them are not live. Very few are live. Maybe 10 or 20 are live. But those made a huge difference and they helped me a lot, you know. So, what else, guys? What questions do you have? Do you have any questions? Any topics about the software we're talking about? You want to discuss how to use Linux command, or why should you use Linux, and what's the benefit of using Linux? We can talk about that too, you know. Anybody else? Questions, comments, topics you want me to discuss on this live stream or on a future ones? Hopefully, I can do another one tomorrow, but I have to think about the topics. So if you have any specific topics related to what I have on my channel, let me know. Just go through my channel, see what I have, what videos, and find something related to the topics I discuss, and let me know. This way I can have an idea about the next videos, because the videos I'm making, I mean, this video was stemmed from an idea somebody proposed yesterday on a previous live yesterday. So, anybody else? Questions, comments? Okay, by the way, guys, if I mentioned before, if somebody is interested in learning Linux and you're looking for a course, I have a course. I have the link in the description, in a chat box. Actually, I will move it to the description later on, because it looks like at one point the the chat disappears for some reason. I have no idea why. So I'm gonna have to move the link from the chat to the description, but now it's available in the chat box. It's the first on the top. If you go to the top, you can find it there. It says to learn using Linux commands, check out my online course, https georgekcwebservices.com/Linux. The link is in the description. Check it out and let me know if you have any questions about it. It's a good course, you know. So, anybody else? Questions, comments, topics you want me to discuss in the future, hopefully tomorrow? Anybody else? Yeah, let me add it now. So, I don't know if it's the description, but let's try. Copy, paste. I'm not sure if the description is the right place. I think so. Yeah, yeah, to learn. online. See Linux. Sure, we see. Anybody else have a question? Let me know. Let's see. Save. Yeah, anybody else have a question about using Linux commands, Linux terminal? Do you have it installed? Are you looking for help on using Linux commands or need help on installing and accessing the command line interface? Let me know. Anyone else? Questions, comments? Hey guys, welcome to the video where we're talking about Linux commands and how to use the terminal in Linux. If you have any questions, submit them in a comment and let me know what topics you're interested in so we can discuss it now if it's related to Linux commands or other topics on my channel. But this video is specific for Linux now, so I prefer the questions to be about Linux commands. Anybody else? Hey guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're interested in this kind of topics about Linux, about web page coding using HTML, CSS, making websites using website builder. Let me know if you're interested. So I cover different topics on this channel, and now we're talking about Linux commands and how to use Linux. But I cover other topics. So if you're interested in knowing about the other videos I have on my channel, I mean the topics, go through my channel, check the videos and the topics I cover, and let me know if you need any help with those topics and or if you have any questions. So if you are interested, let me know in Linux. Again, this is the course here. I have it in the description right here. If you want to see it, let me see. Where do you have it? Yeah, I have it here. I have it here in the chat on the top of the chat, and then I have it here. I just added it in the description, so you'll see it here too in the description, right here. So this is the link for my course for the Linux course. If somebody is interested to check it out and see if it's a good fit for you. And anybody else, questions, comments? Who else is using Linux or interested in learning about Linux? Do you use it? Do you have it? Do you have access to the terminal so you can run commands? Let me know. Questions, comments about Linux commands. You can use Linux to diagnose your internet connection if you want. Let's say your internet got disrupted. You can use the command line and use commands like ping. You know, you can use ping. You can use, you can ping, let's say, a website on the internet. If you don't have, you don't reach it, it means you're not connected on the internet. You know, so like let's say you lost your internet connection and you want to know why. The first command you use is ping. You ping a website on the internet. Let's say ping space www.suchandsuch.com. If you do not reach the website, it means you have a problem with the DNS server and the internet connectivity, you know. So this is the main, and then you can use traceroute to see the hops or the nodes your signal and your data is going through. Yeah, there are so many, there are hundreds of commands you can use on Linux. Who else have a question? Anybody have a question about using Linux? Guys, if you're interested in those topics, Linux and the other topics on my channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and so you'll be helping me grow the channel. So I don't see any questions coming in. No questions, no comments. So Dark Clues. Hi, how are you? Oh, you've been here before. I recognize you. You're one of the subscribers here, right? Dark Clues. I recognize the name. Welcome, guys. Welcome to this live stream. How can I help you? Yes, I was here. Yes, I remember your name. You were here yesterday. Yeah. Yesterday we were talking about Python. Today we're talking about Linux and how to access the command line and how to use the basics. So, do you have any questions, Dark Lulz, about Linux commands, how to use the terminal? Do you have access to the terminal? Do you have it installed on your computer or? Yeah, if you're interested in learning about Linux, let me know. I've been running commands here, you know, a while ago. So if you have any commands you want me to run or you want to learn about it, I can run it for you now. So I have Linux installed. Yes, Ubuntu and GNOME. Okay, good. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, yeah. I have what Linux do you have? I have what Ubuntu? I have 22.04. So and GNOME. Yeah, GNOME. I guess it's the graphical user interface you're talking about, right? Yeah. So what commands do you have any question about any specific command, or you're good with Linux commands? You already know what you'll be using and you don't have any question, so excuse me. Who else? Anybody have a question? We're talking about Linux commands tonight and how to use some of them, not all of them, some of them, the basics. And also, I mentioned that if somebody is interested in learning Linux, or if you're looking for a refresher, if you know Linux and you're looking for a refresher, I have a course. I added the links in the chat and the description if you're interested. You can just check the uh, the link and the description page if you're interested in those topics. Check it out. Or I think it's, yeah, okay. 22.04 is the recent one. Genome is a desktop environment like okay, sure, yeah, yeah. Or XFCE, yes, okay, yeah, yeah. I use 22.04. I like it. It's nice. Ubuntu is, it's user friendly and beginner friendly. If somebody is starting a new, Ubuntu is great. And for advanced too, because you got everything in it. Ubuntu is great. Yeah. Anybody else have a question about using Linux commands, about the topics? So I can answer you right now if I have the answer. If not, I can refer you to the right resources, hopefully. Yeah, guys, if you have not subscribed yet to the channel, and if you're interested in this kind of topics, make sure you subscribe. I will appreciate it. And you'll be helping me too if you subscribe, because I want to grow the channel so I can keep going, making more videos, more live streams like these. And I want to help more people, with those topics and other topics on my channel. We talk about making websites, web pages, using codes and using website builders that drag and drop without code. Or if you want to inject code, you can do that too. So honestly, I am looking to switch to Fedora. Is the command line much different? Okay, to be honest with you, the command line and the command they're almost the same in most Linux distributions. I mean, they might differ a bit. Some commands are a bit different, and I haven't used every Linux distribution, obviously, because you have hundreds of distributions. But I have used Red Hat. I have used other distributions, but my favorite is Ubuntu. I like it, and I got used to it, and it's great. And most terminals have in Linux, or most distribution, they give you the basics and some advanced, whatever you need. Anybody can use, and I mean, I can hear that there's a Linux distribution that they use specific for penetration testing and ethical hacking. I'm trying to remember the name. And so there are certain distribution which are better for certain application or certain function than others. But for somebody like me who's not doing like penetration testing or hacking, ethical hacking, or programming, or I'm good with Ubuntu. It's a parent and it's Kali Linux. Yes, yes, yeah. It's Kali Linux. Yes. Parrot is and Kali. That's what I'm referring to. Yeah, Kali Linux. Yeah. So if you're into learning the penetration testing and ethical hacking and stuff, Kali is the one. I never used it, but that's what I hear about it, you know. Anybody else have a question about Linux commands, or if you want me to run a specific commands, I can do that now. Wow, we've been going over 1 hour, 100 minutes. Like that's like 1 hour and 40 minutes. Wow, that's a long time. I don't know how I was able to do it, but I'm enjoying the those live streams, you know, and I'm enjoying the conversation with you guys. And I like the questions, even though we don't have a lot of questions coming in. But once in a while, somebody shares the conversation. It's very interesting, you know, and that's how I keep going. And also, make sure you subscribe if you have not already to the channel, you know. I haven't used Kali, and I made a lot of my own penetration tools in C and Python. Also, I have been games like chess. Yeah, you're way advanced, you know, when it comes to programming and like C and Python. Yeah, penetration tools in C and small FPC games. Okay, yeah. Yeah, Dark Loots, you're way advanced more than me and more than most of us, I guess, you know. Yeah, if you use C, you're very advanced. Yeah, so I know it's a low level language and it's very difficult, right? The C and C++, they're very difficult languages. But you can do a lot with them, you know. You're getting close to the hardware and anyone else have a question about Linux or other topics about software we use, and I make video tutorials on my channel. Anyone else? So guys, let me know what topics you have interest in. This way, I try to prepare if I can. If I'm familiar with it, if not, it's gonna be difficult. You know, I'm not gonna be able to discuss every topic. You know, C for me is like talking directly to the machine, like Lana Stravos says, nothing beats C. Yeah, yes, yeah, yeah. So what you do with C exactly? You're talking to the hardware. I mean, that's very interesting. But is it very difficult to learn for somebody who's not he doesn't have any programming skills? I guess it's difficult, right? The C. You have to be a computer science major, or you have to have a lot of experience in computers. I guess in programming. Yeah, I mean, like we looked yesterday, Linux is programmed in C and assembly language and Rust. I think, yeah, yes, hard to learn, but you can learn it a lot with the Chat GPT. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. You know, if I have a use for it, I'll try, but I don't have a use for it. That's why I don't want to get. I mean, I have enough now. I'm learning. I want to get better with the JavaScript, which is an easy scripting language, and I'm not good at it yet. I just know the basic, like the variables, the loops, and the basic. But I want to start making the projects. So I want to nail JavaScript because it's close to the web development. You know, it's web development. Like, and now I'm learning HTML, CSS. I mean, I learned them. I'm familiar with them. I have good knowledge about them. But JavaScript, I still have to look into it. You know, I have to. I want to learn HTML and Python better. Yes, HTML is very easy. You know, HTML, Dark Roots, you have to learn HTML5 with CSS. They come together, they work together, I mean, you can use HTML by itself, but it doesn't give you the style. CSS will give you the style, like the color, the background, the lines, the fonts, so you have to use HTML with CSS. Those come together, and then Python is separate by itself. So yeah, Python. I just started dabbling with it a bit. I just want to know how to access it and how to access the Python interpreter and how to, but I haven't done a lot with it. And I'm not going to learn it now because I don't want to confuse myself because I'm still learning JavaScript, and it looks like they have some similarities in the syntax. I mean, things change, but they have a lot of similarities. So I'll wait until I nail that down, or at least I become comfortable with the JavaScript. Then maybe start with the Python too, because Python have libraries and applications, scientific and math, that not other languages have them. Because it's number one when it comes to data science and data manipulation. So. All right, let's see where we at in that chat, and if somebody subscribes. Yeah, I got some subscribers, not just a couple, I think, which is good. All right, guys, I think Python is used a lot. It's very useful. Java is used a lot in Windows, I believe. Yeah, yeah. Java is used a lot. Yes, yeah, yeah. It's a back-end language, right? Java is a back-end language. Actually, it's a desktop language too. I mean, yeah, Java, Python, and and C sharp is good. .NET, the .NET environment, and C sharp is good. Because it's Microsoft. So yeah, that Java is good, but Java is difficult too. It's a programming language. It's difficult. It might be as difficult as C and C++, the Java. But it's got so many applications, Java. It's anybody else? Questions, comments? Okay, guys, I think I'm gonna have to wrap up this live stream because it's been over an hour and 20 minutes. And if somebody have a question, somebody coming in now. March 7 Radio Intercepts. Hi, March. Welcome to the live stream. Thank you for joining. Do you have any question about Linux or Linux commands, the terminal, how to use it? Let us know. And guys, if you have not subscribed, again, I keep saying that, make sure you subscribe to the channel because I need your help in growing it. And, I'll keep making those videos to help you too, in answering questions, discussing topics. I mean, sometimes somebody on the live stream will help us too, audience will help each other too. It's not only me helping. Because your comments here, like the Dark Loots comments, these are very helpful. Somebody else can benefit from those. So, just dropping by, welcome. I made Skyware Linux for radio nerds. I'm Okay, see you tomorrow. Have a good evening.